Welcome to Season 3 of The Biz Show, sponsored by InvestQuire. Discover what's next with this insightful podcast. And now, your hosts, Barry and Lisa.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Barry.
Good morning, Lisa. How are you today?
I'm better. Getting over the hump of being sick.
Yeah, sick sucks, doesn't it?
Does
We
it
both,
linger?
yeah, we both had that. Um, you're traveling again, but fortunately, we got you sitting down for a little bit, and we can do the podcast.
Yay! I know. It's like a whole week goes by so fast, like a blink of an eye when you have work appointments and juggling life and all of the important things that we have to do every day.
Life does get in the way, even of work, doesn't it? Work gets in the way of life, and life gets in the way of work.
I think it goes both ways. Absolutely.
Exactly. Well,
Well,
so we're in season 3, episode 2.
we're in number three. I can't believe we've been together for 3 seasons
That's been
and we're
on.
just making things happen.
We
Hopefully,
are
we're helping
definitely.
people make things happen too.
Hopefully, a lot of people are getting some value and information out of this, and they can apply that to their daily, business needs, so on and so forth, as well. If you have questions, Lisa and I are available for a consultation and sit down with you and find out what's going on and how we can help you.
Right. So, what are we going to talk about today, Barry?
Well, I've had a lot, and we've had a lot of podcasts in recovery and marketing and sales and stuff like that. But, what we've not had is business development. And specifically, what's the difference of business development versus sales versus marketing?
I think the first thing that may come to people's minds is like the creation of the business, right? And how to start one, maybe.
Yeah, but that's not business development. But it's really about customer generation, right? And so they all go, but yeah, you're right, business development, a lot of people could think about, oh, I'm starting a business.
I think that's what
That's
people would think about first, but it's not necessarily what we're going to be talking about today.
no. Well, let's kind of just run down, right?
Dive
So
in. Hmm.
yeah, let's dive in. Let's talk about what is business development, right?
So, what is the definition?
So business development is the process of defining, nurturing, and developing strategic partnerships and or opportunities that drive long-term revenue growth.
Yes, I always drill this into my team because I want them to be thinking futuristic and not just on the daily duties and tasks that they have, because that's the mind of a true entrepreneur, is always looking forward and forecasting so that
Right.
you're always going to be in that mode of generating new clients.
See, I never consider myself as a salesperson.
Right.
I actually suck at sales. I do. And I've tried it many times and I'm just not good at it. But what I am really good at is business development,
Yes.
nurturing and growing relationships.
You're looking at it from a numbers perspective and from all different angles of what is maybe lacking in a company and what you need to put in a company to make it successful. So you're like an engineer's mind where you're like really fine tuning everything.
I am. You're right. That's the anal part of me, right?
Think every company needs a person like you because some people are just doers and then you actually can see what is broken and you fix the broken wheel.
I normally see, and that's, in my past as the CEO, is somebody you want, somebody who sees the big picture, right?
Hmm.
But yet I can really drill down to the very minute, small details of one particular pillar, if you want to say that, right? And really, we'll talk for a minute about the pillars too of these of business development, right? And pillars, let's just say there's typically 4 of them, right? The first one is building strategic relationships.
Hmm.
The second
Partnerships
one,
that complement your business.
yeah, and complement your business, but work in tandem with your business so that both companies are working towards the same goal. For maybe you have one customer and you both are providing services that enhance each other's to provide that to the customer.
Yes, you want to make it very seamless so the customer doesn't even realize who
Yeah,
is
exactly.
actually creating the outcome that they desire.
Exactly.
Hmm.
The next one is entering new markets, right? So why would you want to do business development and enter a new market? Well, maybe you don't know that market, and maybe you need to find a company that has all of the wisdom and all of the knowledge of that market, and then they can help educate you on that market. And then together, you guys can work together in that market.
Would be more in alignment with a strategic partner. But it's also to help your business expand so that you can offer a more wider variety of services for those people.
You, exactly. You know what, Lisa? And you're doing it right now. You're expanding your team, right? And you're bringing other agents in with you, expanding that team and getting into new markets for each one of those agents that you have.
Yes, everybody brings a value to the table, so it's nice to tap into different branches of services.
Exactly. So the other one is you might have a new products or whatever, and but you can't make that product, right? So you need to reach out to a manufacturer who's going to make that product. Or in a services related, you might reach out to us because we provide a service that your company doesn't, but you want to be able to offer that service. We have strategic partnerships with bookkeeping companies, accounting companies, attorneys, and stuff like that, right? We're not those people,
No,
but yet we
Yeah,
do
we
offer
do
those
offer those
services.
services.
right. So like contract work.
Yeah. But again, behind the scenes. And then relationship buildings, right?
That's so important. So that's the most important aspect in all of these pillars because you want to have a good relationship with your partnerships and your team, and most importantly, your clients.
Right, exactly. And your team and your clients are the most important, right? You're not, if you don't have a good relationship with your team, you're not going to provide good service to your clients.
Right. It'll be a bumpy road.
Yes, it will. And you know what? Your customer is going to know it.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine that works in the banking industry, and he was like being roadblocked by his manager. And in effort to instead of making his job easier and facilitating the processes of attaining a new client and closing a new client in the banking world, the manager was actually prohibiting him from being able to utilize systems. And so he was like feeling like, how do I get around this? So he had to figure out how to, learn it or find the processes himself. And he did, and he's doing great volume in the banking world. But it was just this terrible like partnership. I mean, the manager was not providing support in the right ways. And thankfully, this friend of mine is very much very intelligent and very has a lot of perseverance, and his ultimate goal is to service his client. And so he found a way to make it all work. But he was just describing to me that going to work is just so dreadful because he's always up against this person that he has to be with every single day on the job. So that is not a cohesive working environment, but we're going to have that in some corporations. There's going to be an individual that maybe gets in the way, so to speak. And it's
You know,
unfortunate, but it does happen.
it does happen. When I was at GE, I had a similar experience. And, at GE, there's 1,700 different companies, right?
Mhm.
And so I always ran up against, oh, well, this division does this, so don't do that. Just reach out to them and they can do that. But the problem is I reach out and they'd never get back to me, or they would take their time. I got a customer that needs services or something now. So I just do it. And I lived by the model, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. So I did it. And the thing is I grew my business from, $60,000 a year to $55 million a year in that
Amazing.
model. And I got a few repercussions from that, or reprimands, if you will, along the way, until they realized, hey, this guy is building a
Making us
business.
money. Yeah.
And yeah, $55
Is that what
million
they
dollars a
want?
year, back off. They did. They at a certain point they took all the reins off. Do what you need, Barry. Get it done.
Amazing. Well, you led by example.
Uh, yeah, I guess you could say that. Not the best example because it was outside the corporate norm, but nonetheless, it got done. Let's talk about the differences of marketing, sales, and business development. A lot of people lump these together, but they have very distinct primary focuses and different goals, right? And where they do work in tandem with one another, but necessarily they are separate. And the first one, you want to start out marketing, right? And what does marketing do?
Oh, well, it lets the public know that you are out there. You're a business that can provide something that they need.
Exactly, right? So it's creating awareness, and as well it's attracting and informing.
Business. Hmm.
It's lead generation, right?
Right. Without it, nobody will know that you have these services that you're offering. So you want to make sure your marketing, you have a budget for it and that it's strong and creative and up and coming, so you stay ahead of the competition.
Exactly. And then sales kicks in. And then in sales, what do? They convert those leads that come in from marketing into paying customers, right? They are the ones that are closing the deals.
Yes, always be closing.
The ABC, right?
Hmm.
ABC. So, a lot of times I see in companies, and it's okay if it happens, but a lot of times the marketing and the salespeople are the same people,
Yes.
right? I mean, look at in your business,
Can't do it
right?
all. There's only so many hours of the day, and then you fall short in one category if you don't have a person that's only doing that job. So it's very hard to wear many hats in a company, and a lot of sole proprietors do that.
They do. And and we've talked about this many times. If you're starting a business, you're getting married. You're marrying the business, right?
Yes.
So
I mean, it's
uh,
hard to like hire individuals when you're really trying to achieve a profitable state for your company, but sometimes you do have to take that risk because it will
yeah.
pay off, you
Yeah,
know.
and as you said in last episode, sometime people are going to suffer, other family members and stuff like that. Tammy calls InvestQuire my mistress.
Oh, well, you have fun working. I know you always love your job, Barry. You're always very passionate about what you do
I
and
do. I do.
supporting.
And
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so business development, as we discussed earlier, is different. It's about building relationships
Hmm.
and opportunities, and these are long term. Yes, they kind of fit, if you will, into that same bucket or pillar or
Yeah.
silo, but it's very, very different. Business development takes time. You're
Yeah.
not going to do business development in a day, a week, a
You're
month.
not going to be
Sometimes
done with it. Yeah.
yeah, it can take 6 months to a year to really close one development opportunity.
Oh, I see a lot of real estate agents and brokers, they spend so much time on developing the systems because they want everything to be in effect and operating, but you could spend all your time doing that, and then the other pillars are suffering because you're not doing sales, you're not doing marketing, and you're not even generating business because you're so busy doing the behind the scenes development part. And so you really need to make sure that you have a balance amongst all of the activities.
You are so right. And there's one other thing that you got to think about too, right?
Mhm.
Because you mentioned it, and it triggered in my little pea brain that I have here. You said behind the scenes,
Yes.
and so you need to preset up your business development strategies. So when you're getting ready to do business development, there are things that you need to really set up in your business and get lined up and ready to go for that business development, right?
Yes.
Whether it's certain systems to get in place or equipment to get in place, whatever the case might be, get your team members trained to whatever is going to be happening in this business development team, because once you close and lock in that business development deal, it's go time.
Yeah.
And now's not the time to be training people or getting equipment or whatever the case might be. You need to get all that stuff prior to, because when it's go time, guess what? Now customers are on the line and expecting services or products you need to deliver.
And yeah, I feel like some people just make that their baby and they just want to, hover over and stay in that safety net instead of like leveraging it out to your employees or to your staff. So yes, you got to make sure that you do shift into um, providing the services and actually doing the work.
Yes, exactly. So, business development is not um, paid ads, cold calling, or anything like that, right? It's again building relationships.
Hmm.
A lot of people get that confused with, whether that's a relationship with a reseller or a partner company, whatever the case might be. Um, Sales is the one that's going to close the deals again, and then marketing is the one that's going to generate those leads coming in. They all work in tandem, if you will,
Hmm.
but but yet they are separate, specific um, departments, if you will.
Yes. Barry's
Or lead.
talking with his hands. I just want the audience to know that he's talking with his hands right now to show all of the different things that we do as business owners. Like we all have to work together and it all really does tie in together.
It does. And soon when we go into the video part of this, which
Yes,
I can't wait for,
so fun.
you'll see my hands flailing in the wind, and you'll see
Yes,
Lisa sitting there laughing like crazy.
like an orchestra, right? You're conducting an
Yes,
orchestra, and a business is like that. It's bringing everything into harmony together.
you are the conductor. Yeah.
Yes.
So preparing for business development, right? I mentioned that already, right? So define what your goals are, right?
Mhm.
What are these goals? What do you expect to get out of this relationship, this business development strategy? Is it a
Why are
new
you doing
create?
it? The
Yeah,
big.
exactly.
Mhm.
So, and it should not be sales, right? I mean, the end goal is sales, absolutely, but it's different from your normal sales and marketing piece of it. Also, and identify who you're going to be working with. Who are your partners? Whether it's a customer partner, whether it's a vendor partner, or a lateral partner of a company that does exactly the same thing that you do,
Right.
right? Because I've done this many times, right? I have services, I've had services in past companies that I provided, but then I got too much work.
Hmm.
I can't get it done. And as an entrepreneur and a business owner, you need to spot that, see that, and notice that stuff is slipping. And you need to build a relationship with a similar company like yours
That could take
who
that piece over.
that
Hmm.
can take that piece over, and you, in the business development relationship, you need to define who's the lead, who's the secondary, who's going to do the billing, and are they going to represent their own company, are they going to represent your company? All that
Right.
stuff needs to be defined in that business development piece of it, right?
Yes, exactly.
So and that's all negotiable.
Yeah,
Which,
'cause you're gonna have some areas where you're weak, at those jobs and tasks and areas of running the company. And so that's when you're going to create that ideal partnership so that it stays, the whole company is working in its best optimum.
right,
Man,
again, make sure that you have, and moving next, but make sure next that you have the systems in place, right? Whether it's CRM, whether it's project management, whatever the case might be, you have all those tools already up and operating, and your people are trained on them.
right. And you may have to hire somebody to implement those systems for you if that's not if you're not tech savvy or you don't know what's available out there.
Right. And so I mentioned about having a business development plan. Also, make sure that you have your pitch ready, any brochures, literature, benefits, data, videos, all that needs to be taken and defined well, right? When you're selling a home or a business, what do? We create a memorandum for the business, and the homes, you create a brochure for all that stuff, right?
All the marketing pieces. Yeah, that's the fun part for me. I love that.
See, I'm the business development guy. You're the marketing.
Yeah, we love to put the product out there and showcase it. It's actually a fun part of the job.
Yes, exactly. So, how do we, or how do you do business development effectively?
Well, you
Right?
need to break it down, right? You need to break it down into steps and maybe, put a time frame so that you stay on track.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, the first one is prospecting, right? And where can you find partners and customers and or whoever, right? Where are you going to find these people?
And networking opportunities, the Chamber of Commerce. A lot of people go straight to LinkedIn because it's right at your fingertips,
Yeah.
and
You
you can
know,
make trips through there, and then maybe have a coffee meet and greet and see if you can align with that person.
right. And we I use also Crunchbase is another good one, and as well industry directories. When we were looking for divorce attorneys, a while back, I
Yeah,
went through an attorney's directory and then found all the local divorce attorneys for us in the area.
yeah, you develop quite a strong list. Hmm.
Yeah, I think there was over 250 divorce attorneys in Orange County. Is there that many people getting divorces here?
Well, it's a daily occurrence, unfortunately,
It is.
or fortunately.
Also attend conferences, right? So trade shows, stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
There's another business expo coming up soon that we should probably go
I
to.
saw that. They keep emailing me. Yeah, we went last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. We should
Yeah,
I
met so many people there. I actually want to
exactly.
be in it. It would be great to be a booth in there.
It would be awesome to be in there and yeah, we should talk about that offline for sure.
Way to get clients for sure.
Yeah. So that prospecting is one. Then engage and build a rapport, right? And this is really the core key and the meat and potatoes of business development, building that rapport and that relationship with whoever you're working with, right? So how do you do that, right? That's the
With a smile.
yes. And it's not about selling them anything, right? So
No,
you should completely keep sales out. You're building a relationship. You're not trying to land a customer in business development. You're
yeah,
trying to,
just sharing what you're doing, being passionate, showing the value that you do provide so that, people will want to tap into that and maybe create the relationship from there.
right. And then the next one, number three, is find co-opportunities, right? Brainstorm, come up with a couple different things that you and I did this, right? When we created InvestQuire, we sat down and talked, what are you good at? What am I good at? And let's put the two together.
Exactly. We knew what your strengths were and where your focus was going to be and what mine are. And then we came together as a partnership for some events and networking opportunities. And yeah, we complement each other very well.
Yep, yep,
Mhm.
exactly. So, and then you want to negotiate what the terms are going to be, right? And the terms need to work out for both. It really can't be all the 80/20. It's got to be 50/50, 60/40, something like that. It's got to be really strategic so that both you want to do it, right?
Yes, otherwise that's where the break happens when people get bitter about the other person not performing or not doing as many tasks and so forth. So definitely keep that communication line open, make sure it's balanced and collaborative.
Exactly. And then lastly, rinse and repeat, right? Basically
Mm,
and then track it and
yeah,
then optimize it, right? So rinse, repeat, what's working. You're going to probably try a couple different strategies. You're going to figure out which one's working, dump the others that aren't working, and then fine and fine tune and really drill down on the one that's working and make it, the platinum of it. There go my hands again, right? They make it the platinum service that you provide.
right. I like it.
Yes. So, And then what's that going to do? That's, if you're doing this and you're enjoying it and having fun, then revenue is just going to fall into place.
Yes, definitely. And we all worry about, customer service and delivering a good product, but definitely put your business development hat on and take a glance at your company in the overall, widespread picture and for future growth, because you don't want to forget to do that part of your job.
You know, Last night I was watching a YouTube video, and the YouTube video was this guy says how he got scammed. And this is based off of what you just said, right? But how he got scammed from a retail online retailer of products, of a watch that he really liked and he wanted to buy it. And he found the watch, and the watch was $40, and it was made by this older gentleman who is getting ready to retire, and he hand makes these things, and he wants to clear out all the stock of his homemade or handmade watches, so on and so forth. So the guy bought it, right? And it said that it would be there in about 2 weeks. And then he was going through the website and he found the exact same watch for $1.50 in Timu.
Oh, really? It's so
so
funny. The
so he
prices on Temu is crazy,
so he bought it, right? He
right?
bought it because now he's like, well, did I just get scammed?
Right?
So he got the watch from Timo in a couple days, right?
My gosh.
And then it took 2 weeks, and he got the watch from the older gentleman that handmade these watches that he bought for $44, $45.
Yeah.
And he was looking at the shipping, right? And Timu, I guess they must have some shipping facilities here in the US, because he saw the tracking and boom, was here. Then he's looking at tracking, and the tracking from the gentleman that was supposedly in Missouri or Iowa, I can't remember where, but yet it was international, coming from China.
Right.
So when he got the two watches and compared them, the exact same watch. So he's like, okay, so somebody went to Temu and bought 50 of these things, and now they're selling them for, 45, $50, saying, oh, I handmade these.
Oh man. It's so funny.
So the moral of the story is be careful. Make sure when you're doing business development, you're partnering with the right people, and make sure that you're not trying to scam anybody. You're not being scammed. Your customers are going to feel that. They're going to know it. They're smart, and they have technology today, right? That they can see stuff like that. I mean, the internet is vast.
Yes.
And I don't know. I'm sure you probably have it on your Apple, on your iPhone. I have it on my Google phone, where I can take a picture of any object, right? I can take a picture of it and tell it, go find this online.
Right.
And it goes through all these stores, and boom, it pops all these up, and the prices and everything else,
Oh
no
yeah.
matter what it is.
Many options.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So be honest, right?
Yeah. It is scary out in the world of the web. You don't know what you're getting, who you're buying from, if it will even come, or if they're just there to capture your credit card information. So yeah. So
Yeah,
be careful. Yeah.
exactly.
And that's again about relationships. When you have a good relationship with a vendor, supplier, distributor, then you really, there's no reason to find anybody else. Just stay loyal to them and, you know, keep doing business with them.
you know Trust, right?
Hmm.
And trust is key in sales, right? People buy from you because they trust you,
Yes.
right? And so, if you can build that trust, and again, that's part of business development, building that relationship, doing what you say you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and how you're going to do it, um, then people will buy from you.
That's right. Reputation.
So, what are our final thoughts here?
Well, if you are staying on top of your business development, not just in the beginning of opening a company, but ongoing as you're running the company, always being aware of what's ahead and how to stay, savvy in the industry. And that could be your secret weapon to success, right? And what did you call it? Future proofing for your
Future,
company. Yes.
yeah, future proofing for your company, right? And
Yeah. Say that 3 times.
yeah, for real. So
Yes.
business development is a secret weapon for you, and also future proofing, but also making your company resilient. And we talked a couple episodes back about how to survive
Ups and downs.
in, yes, and when the market's moving around and stuff like that, how do you continue to grow your business? This is how business development, right? Safety in numbers.
That's right. Be bulletproof.
There
Be
you
able to
go.
survive in the downward, shift because there's always going to be a downward economy, that comes around the bend. So be prepared.
Be prepared.
And if you need help with that business development piece, which Barry's expertise lies right there with that, give us a call. We're happy to help you stay ahead of the competition, the trends, the market, the changes, all of it. So give us a call. We're on Facebook page. It's called The Biz Show, BIZ Show. And we also have a website, investacquire.com. You could find me all over the internet, Lisa Marie Manifold, representing tons of sellers and listings. So I'd love for you to be our next client. Give us a call.
Definitely so. And also, just as a heads up, in about 2 weeks, the first week in May, we'll be going, you'll see the Biz Show also on socialgoats.com, along with some marketing and master classes that we will start providing. So, I'll put a link in our Facebook page of where to go and how to get there.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. Oh, it's so exciting.
That
Yay.
one, yes, it is exciting. Okay.
Well,
Well,
thank
guys,
you
thank you so
guys.
much.
Have a wonderful week.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Biz Show podcast. Subscribe to stay updated and follow Barry and Lisa on Facebook at The Biz Show. Share your comments or suggest specific business topics you'd like to hear. Bye!